me basically what I'm looking at here. What body did we start with?
So we're starting
Obviously, it's an air-cooled truck.
We're starting with what they refer to either as a Corvair 95, and the 95 stands for, in this case, a 95-inch wheelbase.
Well, they were especially creative that day.
They were very creative. You know, they didn't call it the Corvair P225, whatever. It was a Corvair 95.
So originally, the drivetrain for this came with flat. What was it? Flat 4.
Flat 6.
Flat 6.
80 horsepower.
It was all air cooled.
All air cooled.
And this obviously I guess they would have been all. And I don't know a lot about Corvairs.
They had a 2-speed power glide.
Okay, they're all automatics, aren't they?
No, they were not. Actually, if you would have gotten this.
Truck for this? I would hate to run that linkage.
So the linkage is kind of funny. It would have gone through your gas tank. So they had a gas tank.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Those guys should have named the truck.
Yes. But when I got the truck, I got it from my neighbor. He had it for 12 years. Didn't do a whole lot to it. He started working on the brakes. He broke every one of the lines, which happens. You know. And life took over. And
so what are we stopping it with? You mentioned brakes. What's under for brakes?
So we'll get to that point, because we had to figure out I wanted another flat pancake motor.
Yeah, you're kind of limited too.
So you're limited. So we went with a Subaru WRX motor, 2004, and I bought a 2004 that was wrecked from Coparts. My favorite spot, and ended up pilfering the motor. And I'd already had a harness in the computer, and initially I thought I was going to do a reverse rotation on the 5-speed. So on the split case Subaru 5-speed, you can do a reverse rotation kit.
That's something.
It's $2,000 worth of split it in half, ring and pinion, flip it over, move it to the other side of the case.
Okay.
So in this application, you have to have something that turns backwards. Compared to a normal vehicle.
Yeah.
So you have to go for a transmission. Again, it's kind of that step.
Same thing.
The first step is, hey, I want a pancake motor. The second step is, how am I going to drive it down the road? You're either doing it with a VW transmission or a Porsche transmission.
Okay.
So the VW transmission, I called a bunch of folks up in California that build supposedly high-performance transmissions. And I said, hey, this is what I'm doing. He said, are you going to have a turbo? I said, yes. He goes, I'm not selling you a transmission.
Well, at least you're honest.
He goes, because you're gonna get on it, you're gonna hit the turbo, you're gonna get off the dirt, you're gonna get on the tar, and then you're gonna call me, because you're gonna rip the gears right out of it.
Okay.
I said, okay. So then the only other option was Porsche. I really wanted an automatic because it was a 2-speed power glide. Plus, I didn't want all the linkages that are associated with it.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So the beauty of, in this case, that particular mating, a lot of YouTube, a lot of going online, trying to figure out what will and what won't work. When we figured out that the bolt pattern for VW bell housing was the same bolt pattern as that Porsche bell housing, I ordered the plate. There's a spacer that comes with that, which in this case is a bolt pattern spacer to the back of the crank, and it's a Subaru bolt pattern. Torque plate has, you got a torque converter, and there's a plate that mounts to it. So brought to machinist friend, he cut the center out because it's got the Porsche bolt pattern. Welded in the new plate, drilled in the Subaru bolt pattern. Together it goes.
And I've seen it running.
Yes.
And how does it run?
It runs great.
Yeah.
It runs great.
It didn't look like you were having any trouble.
The running is not the issue. Idling in traffic's not an issue, because I don't have the same problem as a car that has the radiator in the front. My problem is going down the road at 70, 80 miles an hour, because my radiator is mounted here, pulling air from
That's right, the vent to the side.
From the vent to the side, which the air-cooled Corvair would have done. I need more CFM.
Yeah.
Because I can stand in traffic all day long.
So how are you going to fix that?
I'm going to have to get a bigger radiator and a bigger fan. So right now, the fan, and I had it planned like this. I said, you know, I don't have cool air going down the street. So I have to run the fan all the time. simulate that.
Yeah.
So I run it at 1,000 CFM all the time. Hence the problem I don't have in town, because I'm getting circulation.
Yeah.
As soon as you start bumping the rev up a little bit, you go on 65, 70, 75, temperature starts to climb fast, because the second stage of that fan, 1450, kicks on at 205, and it can't keep up. So I'm going to have to get a bigger fan, bigger radiator, more cooler.
I just suck completely through those vents, though.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
They're better to open that up or something.
You know, the thing about this truck is I want it to look stock.
It does.
I want it to look stock.
That's what caught my eye. I heard you fire it earlier.
That doesn't sound
not
stock, but when you
it didn't
close
sound stock when it came by.
right.
So,
Sounds like a mosquito bug catcher guy.
No, it didn't sound. You knew something was up.
Yeah.
It sounds great.
So again, with the theme of trying to look stock,
Yeah.
this panel, when it's down, if you don't know Corvairs, you don't realize that this is not a standard platform.
Well, it's a great job. It looks like it grew there.
So
it's like a
Subaru axle, transaxle.
It's a Subaru engine with a Porsche 911 transmission.
Okay. That's why I was able
Yeah.
to put it in there.
Let me pull that back up.
So what other modifications did you have to do?
Oh my God.
Get a mounting plate on it.
The getting of it in.
So the getting of it in, of course, you have to get rid of the swing arm suspension. All that's, you can't use it. So my buddy Dick and I, we laid under a lot of cars. A lot. And what we were trying to figure out was, okay, end-to-end, what are we looking for distance-wise, and what can we remove as an assembly versus something that you're going to have to fabricate and get all the angles right.
Yeah.
So I actually dragged two out of the junkyard. One was the Charger, and the other one was the BMW.
Okay.
So this is, in here, it is a BMW 2010 BMW 328i suspension. Bits and pieces, because obviously I had to cut it.
You have to fabricate a lot.
Oh yeah.
Work.
Yes. The brackets and everything, the engine mounts, the trans mounts, all that stuff has been fabricated.
So you're the fabricator. And you're the brainchild behind it. You've done most of the work on this vehicle yourself.
What I didn't do is the plumbing. I can't do plumbing.
Like wiring or?
No, I do wiring. But all the plumbing that you see here, even that back brace in the back, and the arms that hold up that intercooler,
Yeah.
all the exhaust was done by this guy right here, Kevin at the Auto Muffler King.
That's beautiful.
He is fantastic.
Yeah, that's fantastic work.
And he sees things that most people don't see. Like
That's
my
usually
oil
how it
pan,
is.
he goes, Bernie, that's really close to the ground. He goes, what I'm going to do, because I had to give him a new oil pan, put a bung on it for the turbo.
Yeah.
He goes, I'm going to give you a little extra meat on the bottom of that oil pan.
You'll
And he
probably
did.
need it.
I've already used it.
Yeah. You'll probably need it.
I already used it. I had to call him. I backed up at O'Reilly's, and of course they had one of them little,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
and my back end went,
Parking
I went, oh man. So I sent him a picture of the oil pan with the cement still on it.
Well, not many people have that problem.
The guy rocks,
Backing
because
into it.
again, he has seen so much through the years. He is, anything I need done, it's, hey Kevin, I need this welded, bring it over, and it gets done. It's just sweet. But
So that's rear.
so that's the rear. We're not done quite yet. So this panel here was not here. This was a straight piece that went across.
Okay. All right.
So I ordered another door
Uh,
out of California, and I dropped it to my buddy Kevin. I said, Kevin, he was looking for more to do, I guess. I said, I need to put the door over here because this is where all my electronics is.
oh yeah.
My battery box, my computer, wideband controller, fuse box, all that stuff is in that area.
Nice.
And that real estate was wasted, and the only thing that was in there was a hump for, in this case, the exhaust. So I cut that hump out of there, changed it, redid the bottom plate, battery has to come out the bottom.
Okay.
I-
Can't win 'em
How
all.
many batteries you change out?
I've been there.
Yeah. So
his truck had something similar to that. I get it.
so
I get that.
yeah, I mean, we went through a lot of hoops. Worked with some guys up at Agile Motorsports up in Maryland. They picked out my turbo. I said, I don't know nothing about turbos. I said, you guys pick it out, and they did. They sent me a bill accordingly.
Well,
But you got to pay for that stuff. I mean,
you got to pay for it.
and I told them, I said, you guys are going to do the dyno work. Pick what you want.
Yeah.
And they did.
Make it work.
Make it work, and if it doesn't work, it's your fault.
Well, but they also, a lot of people make the mistake of thinking they knew more about it than the people actually put these stuff in and doing the work.
Well, they do in this case, because
And to trust somebody and say, look,
Yep.
I'm going to do this.
Yep.
I want you to make it go.
right.
And you make it go however you want to go.
Yep.
And I'll pay for it later.
Yep. So you know,
Save
getting
yourself a lot of money that way.
I don't mind
Buying
paying
parts
people
twice.
for what they know.
I don't either.
So I don't want to. I don't have to relive their pain.
That's
So
why you're paying them.
exactly. So you know, he was integral part of fabbing this. He knew the work, precision metal shop, sheet metal shop out of Pocosa, Virginia, and they said, "Oh, sure, we'll do that for you." Do you know how much of a pain that is?
I can't imagine. Well,
You
I
gotta-
can't imagine finishing that.
No, or this,
Correct.
because these are individual pieces. Each
They
one
don't
of those.
look like it. They look like they grew.
Yes, yes. And Kevin knows me. He's worked on other cars for me. He knows the end state is to make things look normal.
Yeah, and you know your detail. If I'm not mistaken,
Yeah.
your bed even lines up.
It's not bad. It's not bad.
It looks real close.
Yep.
Even the pattern lines up
Yep.
on your door. which
So
I don't know how many other people would have given that much attention.
the do roads. So one of the other things that was a concern was the wheels, because I didn't want to put BMW style wheels in the back.
Right.
And my buddy Dick, he goes, "Oh yeah, they're only like 2 millimeters off." Like, who knows that? Dick
knew it.
did. Dick knew it.
Dick knew it.
So I said, well, if it's only a couple millimeters, I tried to put it on. I said, well, the center section needs to be clearanced. So I got a machinist buddy, brought it to him. I brought the hub. I said, I want this rim to fit that hub. And then it's hub centric, right?
Yeah.
So that the hub is the centering focus.
Yeah.
Perfect. So it still has the BMW, all
They
that
look like
stuff.
they grew there.
Yeah.
They
Yep.
really do.
Yep.
What was the purpose of this when it was marketed?
So when it was marketed,
Why
it
would
was
you put a door inside?
you could have been a florist. It was fleet sales, and in this case, Ma Bell had at the time they were putting a lot of telephone poles and lines and all that, right? So the big reels that they had, they would be able to roll those up into the bed.
I bet this thing screamed.
Well, if you think about it, it's a 3/4 ton.
I didn't know they were built that heavy. I didn't know they made 3/4 ton Corvair.
I tell you what, you got to watch Jay Leno's
Learn
video.
something new every day.
Jay Leno has a 61 like this.
Uh-huh.
He has a video. It is absolutely hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. You'll listen to it 2 or 3 times.
Okay.
He drives, it's a COVID time, right? So he's doing all the filming himself. And then he takes it down the road and he's talking to you.
I enjoy Jason.
He is
think I
sweet.
do.
He is sweet. So that's pretty much what we've done
So
in the.
did you have to source it? Is there?
So
Because I can't imagine it was complete when you
The
bought
body is I'd say
it. Where would I find
100%.
that? If I had to source that door, where would you get that?
Okay, so there are actually Corvair junkyards, and there
believe
are
that.
forums, just like there's Mustang forums.
Yeah,
There are
yeah.
Corvair forums and ramp side forums. And if you need a part, the car guys. I'm lucky.
Yeah, and they collect.
Yes.
If they're anything like the Chrysler guys, they collect.
The guy I bought this from has 11 Corvair motors. One Corvair.
I understand that. I don't even find that odd.
No, you collect things because you know eventually you'll need it or a friend will need it.
Yeah, somebody will. You
And
see
then,
the value of it.
yeah, and then somebody passes away and then you collect their stuff.
See, it's not collecting. It's not collecting or hoarding. It's preserving the future.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what I.
So again, the majority of this came as it is. I had to make some modifications inside. So
It had a bench.
Yeah, I think I overheard you say earlier those are Bronco seats.
These are 87 Bronco seats.
Okay.
Because I needed seats that did not speak to, hey, I'm new. And in
Yeah.
this case, I didn't want a headrest sticking out in the back.
Yeah.
But in the process of doing that, I had to, I think the right word's clearance.
That's the word I use.
Got a big old chunk out of the fender well.
Uh-huh.
It makes no difference underneath, but you had, I mean, there's what, 5 inches, 6 inches there.
It looked like they grew there too. They
Well,
didn't look out of place at all.
Well, the thing is if you're 6 inches higher, you're not looking out the windshield anymore. And my buddy Dick bought me that the other day. I don't know what they're called. It's that little prism looking thing.
So you can see the stoplight.
So you can see the
Yeah.
stoplight.
Yeah.
Because you get too close, and then you're like, what the hell?
Yeah. I've never, I didn't notice that when we walked by at first. Now that makes sense. Because
Yeah.
for a truck, it's longer.
Yeah.
The cab is longer than
But the thing is you're sitting at the light. You don't have 15 feet or 8 feet in front of you like a normal engine stuff, right?
Yeah.
So you're not
But you
that
don't
far
have
back.
it.
That's right.
I see.
So did that. Had to make my own shift gate. Well, yeah. So the shift gate doesn't exist for a Porsche transmission, right?
Okay.
So I had to make it. A buddy of mine gave me the shifter, and I said, well, I can use the shifter, but I have to make my own shift gate.
Like a cable shifter kind of setup?
Yeah, he didn't even have the cable. It was just the shifter proper. And
Okay.
I went ahead and made the shift gate.
That's pretty cool.
And if you want to go around and look at the cluster real quick.
Yeah, let's have a look at the front of that.
And Kevin, by the way, Kevin from the Auto Muffler King, the guy that did all the other work in the back, he calls me, I think, he texts me, it was like at 10 o'clock one night. He goes, Bernie, guess what I got in my man room? 61 tags. He goes there, and this is, he's passionate about what he does. And
He gets the details.
yeah, he goes, I've got a set of 61 tags are yours. I mean, it makes my hair stand up just thinking about it. That he cared enough to give me those tags.
Yeah, that's cool. And you can register. Where I'm at, you can
They are registered
under that number.
under that number.
And they fit.
It's a cheap $50 fix. So the last time it's got the inspection sticker was 1975 out of Pennsylvania.
75 that's quite a while.
Yeah, it's not before mine.
Yeah, I'm not going to go too far with that stuff.
Yeah. So the instrument cluster is now an inch taller and an inch wider.
Okay.
And I happen to have a couple of sheets of half-inch aluminum plate and a home router.
Okay.
You see where we're going with that?
Yeah, as long as you're good with it.
You're
it
cutting a
works.
little bit at a time. You're not
Yeah.
cutting a lot, and then you make stacks of aluminum shavings.
Yeah.
So that turned out fairly well. The funny thing is, Corvair used that logo. Corvette uses the logo now, so everybody relates it to the Corvette.
Corvair had it first?
I don't know if they had it first or around the same time, but they had that same logo. And I had ramp side put in there as well. But it turned out rather well. Initially I was going to paint it, and I'm thinking I might
I
not.
don't know. I think it's great the way it is.
Yeah. So
Actually, that's what caught my attention first, is the fact that it was running and driving. It sounded the way it did. And I don't know. What do you got next? What's on the agenda next?
well, I'm going to get a bigger radiator.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
yeah, it had 1,400 miles on it on the build before we left.
And you're long haul.
I'm long haul, so
Nice.
yeah, from Virginia Beach all the way out to Tennessee. That was a long stretch, but it's for us. The round trip is 2,500 miles. So
Okay.
I kind
that's
of
about what
figured.
we're on.
Yeah, I kind of figured there was going to be some stuff I figured out.
But I don't have anything nearly this
No.
elaborate in my crew. We're a little more basic and simple.
Yeah, so there's a couple things that I want to change. I'm retired, so I hate to think that I'm going to start on paint anytime soon, but I might have to.
Fair enough. I'm not going to tell you what to do. You're right. I like it the way it is, though.
I like the fact that every day for this tour, I didn't get up early to wash my car.
I get it. Yeah, my car's in primer right now.
Yep.
So. In fact, we signed my hood.
There you go.
Because that's coming off and going on the wall again. But
Amen
anyway,
to that.
You know, I really appreciate your time. Thank you for
No
letting us
problem.
feature your ride, and I think it's absolutely cool.